stop scrolling for a moment, because the ordinary-looking £2 coin you may have in your collection could be more interesting than you think. Today on Coins Explorer, we're taking a detailed look at the 2001 British £2 coin and uncovering what makes this coin worth examining. At first glance, this may look like nothing more than an old £2 coin from the early 2000s. But when you study its design, mintage, edge lettering, condition, and possible errors, the story becomes much more fascinating. The coin shown in your photographs appears to be the 2001 technology design, featuring the famous concentric circle representation of technological development. This is an important point because Britain also issued another £2 coin dated 2001, the much scarcer Marconi wireless transmission commemorative coin. The Royal Mint confirms that the two 2001 £2 varieties have different reverse designs and different mintages. So, before anyone claims that every 2001 £2 coin is extremely rare, we need to identify exactly which version we are looking at. In this video, we will examine the design, history, specifications, mintage, edge inscription, rarity, condition, errors, collector demand, and realistic value of this coin. We will also explain what you should check before deciding whether your coin deserves a place in a serious collection. And most importantly, we will separate genuine numismatic facts from exaggerated internet claims about huge £2 coin values. So stay with Coins Explorer until the end, because the small details on a coin like this can make a major difference to its collector interest. The coin shown here is a British £2 denomination, dated 2001, from the reign of Queen Elizabeth II. The obverse carries the fourth definitive portrait of Queen Elizabeth II used on UK circulating coinage, designed by Ian Rank Broadley. The reverse belongs to the famous technology design created by designer Bruce Russian. This design was introduced on a modern bimetallic £2 coin and continued across many years. The reverse uses a series of concentric circles to represent the development of human technology through different periods. The Royal Mint describes the design as a journey from the Iron Age through the Industrial Revolution, the computer age, and into the Internet age. In the photographs you provided, the central circular area and surrounding technological pattern are consistent with this technology type. The denomination £2 appears around the outer part of the reverse, which is another useful identification feature. The coin is also bimetallic, meaning it is constructed from two different color metal sections rather than being a single metal coin. The Royal Mint lists the standard specification at approximately 28.40 millimeters in diameter and 12 grams in weight. The inner section is cupro-nickel, while the outer ring is nickel brass, creating the distinctive two-tone appearance. Therefore, based on the photographs, this should be identified as the 2001 technology £2, unless an examination of the edge reveals something unexpected. The modern bimetallic British £2 coin has a very interesting history. The Royal Mint explains that the distinctive bimetallic £2 design was planned for introduction in 1997 and was intended to create a highly recognizable, high-value circulating coin. The first design used the same broad technology concept that collectors now associate with the series. Bruce Russian's winning design was based on a sequence of concentric circles showing technological progress. Instead of simply placing a portrait or national symbol on the reverse, the designer created a visual story about human achievement. That is one reason this £2 series remains popular with collectors, even though many dates are relatively common. The coin also carries an unusual edge inscription, which adds another layer of interest to the design. That inscription reads, "Standing on the shoulders of giants." The phrase is associated with Sir Isaac Newton and refers to the idea that modern discoveries build upon the achievements of earlier thinkers. This message fits perfectly with a coin whose reverse is literally about the development of technology over time. The 2001 coin therefore represents not just a monetary denomination, but also a visual statement about science, invention, and progress. For collectors, this combination of historical concept, unusual design, and bimetallic construction makes the coin more interesting than an ordinary modern circulating coin. Now we reach one of the most important parts of the story, the mintage. The 2001 technology 2 pounds had a circulation mintage of approximately 34,984,750 coins. That number is important because it tells us that this particular version was produced in substantial quantities. It is therefore not accurate to automatically call every 2001 technology 2 pounds an extremely rare coin. However, mintage alone does not determine the complete collector value of an individual coin. Condition, strike quality, errors, provenance, packaging, and demand can all influence what collectors are willing to pay. For comparison, the other 2001 2-pound design, celebrating Marconi's transatlantic wireless transmission, had a much lower circulation mintage of about 4,558,000. This difference explains why some people may confuse the two 2001 coins and assume that every 2001 2 pounds has the same rarity. The Royal Mint itself confirms that two different 2-pound designs were issued with the date 2001. So the first thing any collector should do is identify the reverse design before researching value. Your photograph coin appears to be the higher mintage technology version rather than the lower mintage Marconi version. That makes correct identification absolutely essential before making any claim about the coin being rare or valuable. One of the most fascinating features of this 2-pound series is something you cannot properly see when the coin is lying flat. I'm talking about the inscription around the edge of the coin. For the technology 2 pounds, the edge inscription is standing on the shoulders of giants. This phrase is not simply decorative wording because it connects the coin directly to the history of scientific discovery. It is commonly associated with a quotation from Sir Isaac Newton in a letter written in 1676. The concept suggests that new achievements are possible because people build upon the knowledge created by previous generations. Interestingly, collectors should also know that the edge inscription can appear upside down relative to the portrait. The Royal Mint explains that there is no correct or incorrect orientation for the edge lettering. The lettering is applied to the blank before the coin is struck, and the orientation depends on how the blank enters the coin press. Therefore, an apparently upside-down edge inscription is not automatically a minting error. This is an excellent example of why collectors should understand the manufacturing process before calling something an error. If you own this 2001 2 pounds, turn it carefully on its edge and check the complete inscription, because the edge can provide valuable confirmation of the exact coin type. The next major factor is the condition of your individual coin. Two coins can have exactly the same date and design, but sell for very different prices because their condition is different. A heavily circulated 2001 technology 2 pounds normally has scratches, contact marks, surface wear, and loss of the original luster. That kind of coin is generally much less interesting financially than a sharply struck example with excellent surfaces. Collectors often pay more attention to coins that retain strong original shine and have fewer distracting marks. The highest grades require careful examination of the portrait, lettering, reverse design, rims, and fields. On the coin in your photographs, the surface appears somewhat circulated, and the photography itself makes some details difficult to judge accurately. Because of that, it would be unsafe to assign a professional numerical grade from photographs alone. A proper grade requires examination under controlled lighting and magnification, ideally with the coin handled carefully. Collectors should never clean an old or potentially collectible coin simply to make it look brighter. Cleaning can create hairlines, remove original surface characteristics, and potentially reduce collector appeal. The best approach is to preserve the coin in its existing condition and compare it with professionally graded or clearly photographed examples. Here's where we need to be completely honest, because the internet contains many exaggerated claims about ordinary coins becoming worth thousands or even millions. The 2001 technology 2 pounds is collectible, but its normal circulation version is not considered an ultra-rare 2 pounds simply because it carries the date 2001. Its circulation mintage of 34,984,750 is far higher than the 2001 Marconi commemorative version. Current collector guides list the ordinary circulation example around its face value in circulated condition, while better uncirculated examples can command a modest premium. For example, Coin Hunter currently lists a circulation value of about £2 and a guide value around £7 for a brilliant uncirculated technology example. These are guide figures rather than guaranteed selling prices. Actual prices can vary depending on grade, presentation, buyer demand, seller reputation, and whether the coin has a genuine desirable error. A normal circulated coin should therefore not be advertised as a guaranteed thousands of pounds rarity. However, that does not mean you should ignore the coin. A coin can be historically interesting and collectible without being worth a fortune. The real excitement begins when an apparently ordinary coin shows a genuine and significant minting variety or error. That is why the next part of our examination is so important. If you want to know whether your particular 2001 £2 could be worth more than a normal example, you should carefully search for genuine minting abnormalities. The first area to inspect is the date and lettering for unusual doubling or distortion. Next, examine the outer rim and inner core for abnormal metal flow, cracks, or major striking problems. Look closely at the central design and the transition between the inner and outer metals. A genuine major error can sometimes attract substantially more collector interest than a standard example. But there is an important warning. Scratches, dents, damage from circulation, and post-mint alterations are not automatically mint errors. Coins spend years moving through pockets, tills, machines, bags, and containers, so accidental damage is extremely common. A genuine mint error normally has characteristics that can be explained by a problem occurring during the manufacturing or striking process. Collectors should compare suspicious features with known examples and, for valuable pieces, consider professional authentication. Online listings sometimes describe ordinary damage as a rare mint error, simply to attract attention. The existence of expensive error listings does not prove that every similar-looking coin has the same value. So if your 2001 £2 has something unusual, photograph the exact area clearly and investigate the feature before assigning a price. There's another 2001 £2 that every collector should know about, and this is where many videos and online listings become confusing. In the same year, Britain released a commemorative £2 celebrating the centenary of Guglielmo Marconi's first successful transatlantic wireless transmission. The Marconi coin has a completely different reverse design, featuring radio wave imagery and a symbolic spark between the zeros of the date. Its edge inscription reads, "Wireless bridges the Atlantic. Marconi 1901. Its circulation mintage was approximately 4,558,000, which is dramatically lower than the 34,984,750 technology coins. The Royal Mint explains that the Marconi coin was released in December 2001, exactly 100 years after the famous transmission. That coin received recognition in the International Coin of the Year competition for its technical and design qualities. So if someone tells you that a 2001 £2 is rare, you should immediately ask which 2001 design they mean. Your photographs show the technology design, with the concentric circle concept rather than the Marconi radio wave design. This distinction is critical because the two coins share the same year and denomination, but have very different production numbers. Knowing this difference can prevent collectors from buying the wrong coin or misunderstanding the value of the coin already in their collection. Now let's talk about money, because this is probably the question most viewers want answered. For a normal circulated 2001 technology £2, the realistic starting point is its face value of £2, unless the coin has a special feature that increases demand. Collector guides currently show higher figures for better quality examples, with Coin Hunter listing around £7 for a brilliant uncirculated example. However, a guide price is not the same thing as a guaranteed cash offer. A dealer may offer less because the dealer needs room for costs and profit, while a collector may pay more for a particularly attractive example. Proof, brilliant, uncirculated, or specially packaged examples can also behave differently from ordinary circulation pieces. The coin's actual condition should therefore be established before comparing it with higher-priced examples. A genuine major mint error could also change the situation dramatically, but the error must be verified rather than assumed. Some online marketplaces show extremely high asking prices for ordinary coins, but asking prices are not evidence of completed sales. A sensible collector should concentrate on confirmed transactions, reputable price guides, and professional assessments for unusual pieces. Based on the photographs alone, there is no reliable evidence here that this particular coin is worth thousands or millions. Its strongest appeal is as a historical British £2, an attractive technology design, and a collectible 2001 date, with additional value possible if a genuine variety or exceptional condition is established. So after examining the evidence, what is the final verdict on this 2001 £2 coin? The coin in your photographs appears to be the British 2001 technology £2, featuring the Bruce Russian Technological Development Reverse and Ian Rank Broadly portrait. Its official circulation mintage is approximately 34,984,750, so it should not be described as an ultra-rare coin solely, because it is dated 2001. Its standard face value is £2, while better collector quality examples can bring a modest premium. The edge inscription, standing on the shoulders of giants, is an important identifying feature and should always be checked. Remember that the edge lettering can appear in either orientation, and the Royal Mint says that an upside-down orientation is not itself an error. Before selling your coin, inspect the surfaces, rims, lettering, date, central design, and edge for anything genuinely unusual. Do not clean the coin, because cleaning can damage its collector appeal. Also remember the major difference between this technology coin and the lower mintage 2001 Marconi £2. If your coin has a genuine minting error, exceptional preservation, or another verified variety, its value may be higher than the normal range. But without such a feature, the evidence supports treating this coin as a collectible circulating £2 rather than a guaranteed fortune. And that is exactly why coin collecting is so exciting. Sometimes the real value is not just the money, but the history, design, manufacturing story, and mystery hidden inside a small piece of metal. If you enjoyed this detailed investigation, stay connected with Coins Explorer, because in our next coin hunt, we may discover another date, error, or variety that deserves a much closer look.